Hello everybody and welcome to Super Metroid YPR. This is going to be a disaster in more ways than one. Oh yeah, St. Criteria is spelled with a K for some reason. But anyway, I mentioned this before, this is entirely post-commentated because I did the first two videos, thought I got permastuck, found out I really wasn't. And then let's just say the hack kind of fell apart. And I just ended up recording me playing it. And I did eventually beat it. But that's, yeah. YPR is a Japanese-made hack. And I forget the guy's name, I should have looked it up. It is different. It is kind of a half hack slash not half hack. And if you're not familiar with the term, half hack generally means the hack is pretty much Super Metroid, or it is Super Metroid's original layout. It's just the rooms and such, items, whatever, changed around and whatnot. As you can see, going through the gauntlet, the ship was actually moved. It's higher up in the landing site room, so. But it's not quite a half hack. There are quite a number of changes to the map that I was not expecting, because playing it when you're first going through it is very much a half hack. And then there's just like some things not quite right. So for the most part, you're safe. And with the original layout, if you're familiar with that, but that's not going to help you too much in some parts. So anyway, YPR. I did beat it. It's not one I would recommend for quite a few reasons, and you will be seeing them. It actually starts out pretty cool. I mean, it's a half hack, so it's like, yeah, but again, kind of half hack. For the most part, what you'll be seeing early on is half hack stuff. But yeah, comes a point where, for me in particular, the hack completely fell apart. I was getting really frustrated with it, why not? But I would put it more as a challenge hack, especially later on. But it's not the hardest overall. It's like some parts are made to be extremely frustrating and difficult. Like Crocomire, but we'll get there. This Crocomire. Crocomire is the most evilest Crocomire ever. Yeah. But we'll get there. So, yeah. Yeah, I really would not recommend playing the hack. If you do play it, that's not to say that it's all bad. There are some very interesting ideas in here. As you can see, Brinstar used quite a bit of the transparency effect, which no one really seems to use much, except for DSO. So it's interesting to see someone else actually use it. So basically, you start out, you were given Morph Ball right at the beginning, and now you have to go find some other stuff. It's like, oh hey, missiles right there. And these little tile things, here, I thought it was a spike when I was playing, but they're really just solid tiles. Those mark all the save stations, so if you see that above a door, you know that's a save room. And here is your first sort of mini boss test thing. It's just a couple of key hunters. And I was being very safe. So, yeah, this is basically your first mini boss. You can pretty much do this and quote-unquote cheat, I guess. But it's better safe than sorry. And I got hit through the wall anyway, because apparently those things can spit through solid walls. But yeah, there are some interesting ideas in here. I would just say overall it wasn't put together the best. And it seems to balance a little too far between. Okay, this is pretty easy to figure out. This is going where, what in the world am I supposed to be doing? And from, oh well, this is pretty easy, to, there's no way you're gonna beat this. So, it's just a little too out there. And Kraid in this hack is actually kind of interesting. Not necessarily for a good reason. I'd say what was done was more annoying, but it is at least interesting, so that has that going for it. So obviously you start out, you've got missiles and such. In this room, I do not understand the motivation behind this room. If you remember the original game, this leads to the map station, which it still does in this hack. I was getting murdered by this site hopper. But he locked the door. I mean, he moved the door cap and made it so you can't reach these enemies. You cannot reach them until you get power bombs or wave beam, which I didn't know, so I was looking for all kinds of alternate ways through here. Why he did that, I don't know, because all it is it's still just the map station. So you can't get a map station, which if you've played the original and you know this map, but it won't let you get it until later, because power bombs and wave beam are later in this game. Wave beam especially. It's, yeah, I don't know the reason behind doing that. I think that's a little odd, but oh well. Then again, if you do know the map of this area, which has been changed a little bit, but it's 90% intact at least, you really don't need the map station, but that's still a little strange to me. So now that we've got our missiles, we have to go get bombs, not surprisingly. And there's a few things, at least one energy tank I believe we pick up on the way, which I highly recommend getting. Energy is a very nice thing to have for some things in this hack, like Crocomire and even Kraid. Because what was done in Kraid's room could really mess you up a little bit. So yeah. That being the interested terrain, I just kind of left it for now. It's actually very interesting, that place, that room before terrain. Because now, I'll discuss it more when we get there, but there is something very interesting in there. So I believe it's one of these criteria rooms where you can grab an energy tank, which you definitely want to do. Again, energy tanks are very valuable. And then there's this weird tile error thing. I don't know why that was left in, but it's there, so it just makes it look extremely suspicious. So yeah, that gamer just kind of shows you these things are pass-throughable, which will be important in a later room. This one kind of shows it too. It's a bigger hint, but you can't get through there. This is where the energy tank is. As you shoot through, you might get the passageway there. There is a hidden morph passage in here, and the energy tank is hiding over a spike pit back here. Now you have to be careful for some waivers. We'll jump around them and whatnot, but it shouldn't be too difficult. And there's an energy tank. So yes, I really recommend getting this. Of course, energy tanks are valuable anyway, but you know, some hacks to become a bit more pertinent to collect because the difficulties and whatnot. So yeah, overall, the tiling and such, pallets in this hack are a little bit strange. This room, I would say, is pretty much one of my least favorite rooms in the hack. For something else completely unrelated to tiling and whatever. It's just, yeah. Let's just say I spent a long time looking for where I was supposed to go at one point, and that room is actually where I was supposed to do something, but there's really no hint to figure that out. So yeah, instead of being able to go down where bombs normally are, and there's this little thing, that's actually an exit for something else in that room or whatever. Yeah, but bombs are normally over that way. There was the pit, whatever, after the screes, which was blocked off, so we have to find some place else for bombs. So that's where, to this point, it's pretty much been a half-act. There's nothing been changed. The bombs is where you kind of start to see where some changes were made to the map overall. There's just some, not very many. Like I said, 90% of the hack is still intact. But there's some things that have changed. So, all the way down at the bottom of the big room is where bombs are. Getting down there is not that difficult. But I don't know. I had to rewatching this to record the AVIs off the SMV files I recorded while playing this. I was in pain watching myself play through this, because obviously afterward you know where stuff is, so I find that when I go back to record the AVI files for this, when I finish playing a new hack like Z Factor or something, watching myself go through that and looking in all the wrong spots, missing obvious hints or whatever, it's quite painful, and I completely miss a hint in this room. You notice that's another pass-through block that was shown earlier, so that hint was a good setup. This room, there is something very obviously special about it, but I completely miss it. So just like, well, that was pointless, right? Well, no, but I completely miss it for the time being. And this room is the old escape shaft. It may not look like it because it's wider, but the room is actually 3 wide. Because if you remember the escape shaft, it's got the train exit on the left, 1 scroll block over. And then you've got the doors on the right of the shaft, it's another scroll over, so it really is 3 wide. You just don't hardly ever see it made that wide all the way up. Which is a good thing to do in Smile. You can do, like I said, with rooms, you can do all kinds of stuff. It's interesting. And this room right now is just a big tease. You can't get anything in here, even after getting bombs. But I'm just looking through, trying to see if I can collect some of these things. There's a missile hanging out on the wall there. There's a super there. We can't get the missiles until speed booster. We can't get the supers until we have supers. The orb up there is a power bomb we can't get. There's a bomb block blocking off down there. It's kind of a hint saying, oh hey, you get bombs here. But because I missed the hint up in the room up above, there really is a hint in that room. I mean, not only is it just there with nothing really in it, it seems. All those shot blocks I destroyed were these little 1x1 criteria brick blocks. There is a 1x1 criteria brick block in that room that I shot at in the floor and just missed it on my last visit. So right now I'm just like, what in the world? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea where to go. And you see, up through here the hack is alright. Just the only thing personally I would hold against it is right now is that it's pretty much been a half hack. And like new things, I guess. People try to make their own maps or whatever. And like I said, to an extent, this kind of does that, so. But still. Right now, it's pretty much just using the original layout, so. So yeah, up somewhere in here is where I finally get smart and realize that that room with nothing in it probably had something in it. And that thing there is just for later on. There are speed boost blocks in there you're supposed to take, shine spark through. So yeah, there I was like, wait, that room really, there had to be something with it. But yeah, there were speed boost blocks where those bomb blocks are up there. It's not hinted at all. And where the speed boost blocks are, just bombing to destroy those bomb blocks will not show the speed boost blocks in there. And that made me get lost for a very long time. So in here you've got all these 1x1 bricks. They're all shot blocks. There's one on the floor right there. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good enough hint for me. I do not mind that at all. So you take that down and fall. And fall. And you get another tiling and everything right there. And that drops you off pretty much right in front of bombs here. And this room is, well, once I get in there, I like this room because he uses flashy glowy stuff. Bomb Treezo's right there. The weird fog going on. And it's no more difficult than normal. Bomb Treezo probably has a little more health. But, or maybe not actually. But yeah, it's a pretty good room overall. It's just not so much a fan of that orb cutting off the top of that mushroom. So there's bombs, and now we can explore a little more. This hack is pretty linear, so you have a pretty set path. At least from what I've played, I don't know for sure. Because I have not revisited this hack since then. And I don't think I will plan to. So yeah, I had to check out that floor spot just because it really does look weird. But yeah, that is going to do it pretty much for the first video. I'm going to be ending this one off up here. And again, like I said, I would not really recommend playing this hack at all. There are just some things in it that, like I said, there's one point that just completely put me off to this hack, and from that point things got worse. So there are some interesting ideas, so if you want to play it to see those, whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. But and there are really some interesting ideas. It's just execution in this hack is not the greatest. So anyway, once I get up to the store here, that'll be the end of the video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you for part 2, where we continue on exploring in the world of YPR.